Hey guys, Randy with Pete's RV TV here today. I'm going to go over today a couple things that you should know about your truck, especially when you're looking to purchase a camper. So why don't you come around the back here and we'll take a quick look at the back of the truck here. This is my personal truck, and a lot of the questions that we kind of ask the customer and they don't know the answer to is, does my truck have a tow package? The reason the tow package is so important is not only does it have a receiver on the back that we can put the hitch into, but does it have a transmission cooler? Does it have a heavy-duty transmission cooler? That's one of the most important parts of a tow package, which will allow you to tow more with that specific vehicle. So the first thing I want to know is, does my truck have a receiver? And what the receiver is this guy right here. So it's where the hitch slides into. So this is actually the hitch. The thing that comes equipped on the truck is called the receiver. So we're going to ask you, does your truck have a receiver? Does your truck have a hitch on it? And when you say yes, that's a pretty good indication that there's a tow package if the truck came like that from the manufacturer of the truck. The other thing I'm going to ask you is, does it have a Bargman 7 plug? So this particular truck here has 2 plugs on it. Has a 4 flat for like boats and small utility trailers, typically things without brakes. This is the important one. This goes with that tow package. This is the round B7 plug. And what this does is it gives us all our lights. It gives us a charge line, so it charges our battery while we're going down the road, and it gives us brakes. So it tells me that the truck has been pre-wired as part of a towing package. So that's a good thing, and if it's got that round plug on the back, that's important to us to be able to tell you if you've got a tow package or not. And again, that's only if it comes from the manufacturer like that, not someone added on the way if you purchased a vehicle used. So this particular one, we know it says Ford right on it, came with that tow package. So let's go around the driver's door, and I'm going to show you about Payload. So right over here on every truck by law tells you what the payload of the truck is. So how much weight we can put in the truck, in the bed of the truck. So if we look at this tag right here, it's going to tell us what about our tires and things like that. But the important number I want to look at, if Carl can get it, is this guy right here. And so this truck's payload is 3,230. So I can actually put 3,230 pounds of weight in this truck. Now that includes the driver and the passenger, so you've got to subtract for that. So I usually take 300 or 400 pounds off it for the rider and the passenger, but that remainder of that number allows me to tell how much weight I can put in the bed of the truck if I'm pulling a fifth wheel, or on the back bumper as part of a tow pack, or as part of pulling a travel trailer, because we've got tongue weight to consider on there. So let's go inside the truck and I'll show you a couple things on the dash to look for as well. So here we are inside the truck. And there's a couple things that we're going to ask you as well, is does your truck come equipped with a brake controller? So some trucks come equipped with a brake controller from the manufacturer. This one here being an F250, it was an integrated brake controller, and it depends on the package on the truck and how much equipment's on the truck and the trim level. Some of them will not have, but when we ask you if you've got one, this is what we want to look for. It's going to have a slide bar. So this applies power to the brakes on the trailer itself when I slide that. And then it's got a plus and minus button on it, which is going to add and subtract gain, give us more brake, less brake. So that's a good indication that you're pre-wired because you've got a brake controller in there. The other thing it may be is if it has the hitch on the back from the manufacturer of the tow vehicle, and it has that round 7 plug that I showed you on the back, it may be pre-wired, but we may have to install a brake controller for you. And that's pretty typical on the half-ton trucks or the trucks with a less of a trim grade. The other thing that's important, and not really part of the brake controller or the pre-wire package, but is for safe towing, is on the end of your shifter. I don't know if you can zoom in on this, Carl. See how it says tow and haul? So while we're towing a camper, we wanted to press this button, which usually lights up something on the dash saying that we're in a tow and haul mode. So what that tow and haul mode does for us is while we are traveling with a trailer, it changes our shift points in the truck. So it's going to start off with a little bit lower gear. It's going to hold that first gear a little bit longer so we can get that extra weight that we're pulling to move along. It's also going to take out the overdrive. So as we get on the interstate, we're not going to be shifting in and out of overdrive all the time, which can really heat up a transmission and is not great for the tow vehicle. And the other thing it does for us, which when we're normally driving and we're not towing a trailer, there's no downshifting in a typical automatic truck like we would with a standard car, or we see 18-wheeler guys do with their Jake brake and stuff like that. But when we depress this tow and haul mode and we're running in tow and haul, it actually will downshift, so that'll help us slow down that extra weight behind us without riding on those trailer brakes and without riding on the truck brakes, causing excessive heat and maybe making that equipment wear out a little bit sooner than it needs to be. So while you're towing, make sure you run a tow and haul mode. Another thing that you want to do when you're towing is you do not want to use cruise control. So never use cruise control when you're towing, and the reason being is your truck is going to try to downshift to maintain speed that you've set it at, and it can actually break loose the rear tires if we're on a little bit slippery pavement or it's wet out, because it's going to downshift hard and it's going to apply a lot of gas to try to maintain that speed to compensate for what we're towing behind us. So I'll never run the cruise control while I am towing. So there's just a couple quick things that we need to know about our tow vehicle when we're purchasing a camper or when we're towing after we have purchased a camper, to make sure that we've got the right equipment and the right way to use it. So thanks for watching Pete's RV TV with Randy today. I look forward to seeing you on the road, and happy camping.